there's no reason to argue with me about this. I made up my mind. I just can't stay here anymore.
Becky, it just doesn't make any sense.
It does to me.
Why live on campus? Hey, you're not gonna be able to see anybody anymore. Come on, all your friends are right here in the dorm.
Good point. All my friends are here, which is exactly why I shouldn't be.
You know you're making too much out of this.
Russ, I can't even come in the room without thinking about Lori, her books, her bed, her clothes. Don't you think that bothers me?
You act as if we're still living in the days of the Puritans.
Not fair. Sure, we started out little Miss Cool and Casual, right? But people change. I can't help it if I see you in a different way now. I can't even touch you the way I'd like to in public. Can you imagine if I hauled off and kissed you, say, in the bookstore or something?
Come on. We're alone together. Lots of times.
Yeah. Always in secret and always afraid somebody's going to find out. Don't you understand? I got to get over the feeling that you're mine, you know? It's you that I'm kind of running away from here. You're not mine. How do you think it makes me feel whenever the only time that I get to see you is when you're over here to visit Lori?
Becky, it's like I said, you're making too much of this. It's not that big a deal.
I can't get over the feeling that I just did something wrong. Lori's my roommate. More than that, Russ, she's my best friend. I remember the first time I met her. It was orientation day for freshmen. There we were, two scrawny little kids, scared to death of being away from home the first time, scared of college. 2 minutes, in just 2 minutes, we built a friendship that lasted all... till now, look what I did to it.
Becky, come on, don't do that. Things like this happen all the time.
Not to me, they don't. And I made one more little decision while you were away. I'm going to tell Lori everything that we did. All of it.
What, are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm going to go crazy if I don't tell her. Russ, I can't sleep. I'm moving out of here because I can't face her.
Beck, listen, there's no reason for her to know, okay?
Russ!
If you tell her...
Russ! Things like this just don't go away. I have to tell her.
Liz?
Well, you look as fit as a fiddle, with only a few broken strings. How are you?
I'm okay. Never better.
Did you break anything? Did the doctor look at you?
Oh, Liz, why bother? I know what you think of me. You and everybody else, and it's all true. I'm no good.
Jeff, you have to stop putting yourself down.
I lost my job. Not once, but twice, and in 2 months. Now, how many guys can match that?
That doesn't matter. You can get another job. The point now is to get you some help.
You keep saying that. Get help. Help for what? For a big-mouth has-been who nobody ever liked? This didn't happen to me overnight, Liz. A guy like me just doesn't turn into a rummy like that. What's the matter now?
I'm surprised to hear you admit it. Jeff, that's a good sign.
I know what I am. You're not the only one that calls me that, Liz. I'm an alcoholic.
But to recognize it and accept it, Jeff, that's a wonderful beginning.
Let me tell you something, Liz. When I was a kid, my mom and dad would never look at me. I used to want to say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm over here. Would you look at me? I remember one time I built a little stage out of cardboard boxes, and I made up a show all by myself. I just wanted to please my folks. I rehearsed and I played all the roles. And then one night they came home, and I got up on my little stage and I said, okay, get ready for the show. And the phone rang and my mom went out to answer it. My dad sat there and fell asleep in his chair as usual. And I just stood up there and finished my little song and dance, and nobody applauded. I just stood there and cried.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
All I ever wanted to do was make people like me. I was about 17, and I found a place where I had an audience. A neighborhood bar. People there were always laughing and talking. I thought, this is it. You found your place. You found your audience. I could go in there and tell my stories and they'd listen. I'd tell my jokes and they'd laugh at me. We had fun together. They'd look at me like my mom never did. And they'd laugh with me, not at me like my dad did. I thought that was the answer. I was finally somebody. What heck with that? I'm nobody now. I'll never get another job in this town thanks to Nick Trench.
Well, why? Why do you say that?
Because of what I did to Herb Crane, remember? As far as Trench and Carpenter are concerned, I'm as good as dead. It's funny, isn't it? I'm safer in here than I am out.
Well,
might as well stay in.
I think it's ridiculous for you to have all these negative feelings. I want you out of this place. The bail is only $500. I'll pay it and take you home. You need some time to rest.
You want to take me home?
Of course.
After everything I've said and done?
Jeff, please try to understand. I don't know how many more times I can say it. I love you.
I don't deserve you. I never did.
That's not true. I'd better go to Captain Russo and see what I have to do about paying the fine. Excuse me, could you open the door, please? One thing, Jeff. I think it would be a good idea if we left Jenny at Mrs. Lindsay's for a few days. We need some time alone together.
I guess you're right. I can't believe I hit her. Is she all right?
Let's just say, like a lot of kids, she's got elastic in her bones.
Liz?
Yes? What is it?
I don't know. Just thanks.
But Miriam, why so soon? You've only just come back and now you're leaving Kingsley again. We've hardly had a chance to get reacquainted. Frederick will be so disappointed.
Oh, I don't like it either.
You sound as if you're doing something against your will. Now, is this my daughter who usually has her own way and everything?
Not anymore. I have been ordered to return.
I don't understand.
Nick Trench. He's taking me on a cruise down the coast.
Well, you will have to explain much more about this, young lady. You're taking orders from that hoodlum?
Mother, it isn't exactly that. Nick happens to be a very nice man most of the time, and he's in Father's firm, so I really didn't see any harm in going.
Didn't see any harm in...
We have gone out a few times.
Well, what does your father have to say about this?
Mother, I am not a child. Even if you don't think so, I am an adult.
Then act like one and answer my questions. What does your father have to say about your socializing with a known gangster?
All right. All right, so he doesn't like it any more than you do, and he's trying to do something about it.
Well, why don't you simply refuse to see him? Your father will back you up. How well I know that.
Mother, he can't. He's just as involved as I am.
In what?
Well, I suppose there's no sense in keeping it from you. He's part of the organization. When he became a partner in Cardello Enterprises, they took over everything, and they don't do business the way Father thought they would. If they can't buy what they want, they just take it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be telling you all this.
Oh, Mary, just like your father. Never willing to share your problems, only your triumphs.
Mother, this is a very dangerous time for him. His life isn't free anymore. He's being owned by the organization, just like Nick Trench thinks he owns me.
This Mr. Trench, do you like him?
Well, I was fond of him at first. I mean, he's very handsome, nice to talk to. He knows everyone, was anybody. But no, I don't think I could be really serious about it. Please, please, take that grim look off your face. I'm not going to elope with the known gangster, as you so charmingly put it. Actually, it's quite the opposite. I'd like to be rid of him. I'm just not sure how to do it.
Well, of course I'm concerned, Charles. How did you let something like this happen?
What are we talking about? My partnership with Cardello or Miriam's social life?
You must understand how upset I am. How could you let a man like that date our daughter?
I swear to you, Helen, I tried to persuade her to keep away from Trench.
Just when did this start?
Oh, weeks ago. She was lonely and she didn't have any friends down here.
Why didn't you put a stop to it?
I was brand new in the company and I certainly didn't know anything at all about Trench. If I'd known then what I know now, I would never have allowed her to see him. But now, really, Helen...
I just can't imagine this, Charles. You've spent a lifetime managing companies, making executive decisions, being in charge, and now you're letting somebody else tell you what to do?
It really is a very awkward situation. I don't think I've ever encountered men with such shameless principles before. No, that isn't accurate. Men with no principles. Their only dedication being to win at any cost.
Charles, you sound frightened. Are you?
Well, it really is a hard puzzle. For the first time in my life, I just don't know where all the pieces fit. And I know now that joining the partnership was a terrible mistake. I'm sorry to admit that.
Well, the answer is simple. Get out. Sell the company back to them, lock, stock, and barrel.
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. Vince, first of all, would never accept it.
Then give him the company. Surely he would accept that.
The only trouble with that is, and the reason why I'm most concerned, is that I know so much about his business operation. I'm a threat to him. There's no way he can let me just walk away.
Charles, you know I've never told you what to do. But I'm going to say something now, and I want you to believe that I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I want you to get away from these men. Now, I still have plenty of money, more than I need, if that would be of any help to you.
Helen, I appreciate that very much. And I know that wasn't an easy thing for you to say. No, I really, my problems are not financial at all. I'm simply trying to find a way to get free of this organization without...
Without what?
Well, I was going to say without bloodshed, but what I really meant was...
Oh, Charles, I am very worried about you and Miriam. Please remember that I'm here if you need me. I always have been.
That's very sweet, Helen. Thank you.
Hey, stranger. Your mother said you weren't napping anymore, so I just came on in.
Hi, Beck. Are you cutting classes?
Yeah, only econ and American Lit, which I can't stand anyway.
There's no way to make the dean's list.
Yeah, no need to worry about that. Are you kidding?
Why don't you ever call me anymore? Russ either.
I'm sorry. We just figure you might be sleeping or something.
That wouldn't matter. I just go right back to sleep.
During or after the phone call.
I miss you two guys. What's happening?
Laura, I guess you know why I'm here, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah. I knew you knew.
I don't want to believe it.
Well, I kind of find it hard to believe myself, you know? Laura, you're my best friend. I knew that you loved Russ. And I knew that he loved you, too. But that just didn't seem to matter, you know? Because I wanted... It's pretty hard to say.
I guess it is.
Do you want me to go on?
Only if it helps you.
I wanted a man of my own. I wanted someone just for me, you know, to prove I'm more than just campus clown. Everybody's friend, nobody's lover. Every time I saw you with Russ, Laura, it's just, there was, well, I don't know, call it lust, call it sexual drive, but there was some attraction that just grew there, you know? And I tried telling myself, hands off, that's Laura's guy, you know? Look but don't touch. But it didn't work. Those feelings just grew and they grew. Can you understand that?
I'm trying, Becky.
He's a wonderful guy, you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Laura, I tried. I told myself, you know, don't love him. You can't have him. Or better yet, I'd switch it around. I'd say you can't have him, Beck, so why bother? You know, don't love him. But it just didn't work, you know? I mean, I tried everything, Laura, to get you guys out of my mind. I tried.
But you went out on dates?
Yeah, sure. About once a month, if I was lucky, with about anybody who'd ask me. They're just like, they're Cub Scouts next to us. Laura, don't hate me, okay?
I don't hate you, Becky.
It was just, there he was, and there I was. We went to dinner one night, and we had a few drinks. Laura, we were both so lonely for something.
Russ said he was lonely?
Well, we just don't got that old self-discipline that you got, you know? I mean, it was just the two of us. And we just couldn't say no to one another. That's the awful part about it, Laura. We knew what we were doing. We knew that we were hurting you. But we just went right on ahead. And we did it. And we hurt you. Look, I know right now you can't be liking me very much, you know, so I took a room over at Jim Winkle's boarding house. I'll be moving out of the dorm.
No! Don't run away, Becky!
Well, Lori, it's hard enough to face you right here, right now. Without having to have you look at me and know what you're thinking in the dorm room.
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about you or Russ and me. Please don't move out of the dorm. Not now. We can work it out somehow.
Look, I want you to understand one thing, all right? It wasn't Russ's fault. It wasn't. Just go on loving him, Laura. Love him the way that I know that he loves you. And he does love you, because I sure know he doesn't love me. Look, I'm gonna go catch the 4:30 bus. You know, there's really not too much more to say. I'm sorry.
know they didn't give you much to eat in that awful place. I asked Captain Russo why the food was so bad. He said he didn't want anybody getting too comfortable. To which I said, for $500, one might expect something more than corned beef hash on toast.
Gotta hand it to you, Liz. You got a lot of spunk.
It's so good to have you home. Jeff, do you think we could talk the way we used to?
Sure, what about?
Well, first, let's agree not to get angry with one another.
Okay, it's a deal.
Why are you so resentful of the Davidsons?
Because they think they're perfect in everything?
But they're only trying to do what they believe is right. Not just some of the time, but all the time.
I think what bothers me most is that they want you to do everything their way.
Why not? If their way works, why shouldn't they want to share it with others? Can't you see the difference?
You're starting to get angry, Liz. We agreed not to.
No, Jeff, I'm not angry. I'm excited. The Davidsons have an inner strength that keeps them together. Why can't we? I just want us to be everything that we promised each other. We can do it. I know we can.
But they're always sticking their noses into our business.
Jeff, that's not true. I asked Terry for her advice. I went to her because I was desperate and lonely. She's been a better friend to us, Jeff, than you know. Won't you just do me one favor? Talk to Terry or Scott. Just find out what makes their family work so well. Please.
We'll see.